Hi, I'm Rev Myron, and I'm a minister through Pathways of Light. And I've been a Course in Miracles student for the last 40 years. One of the things that I have done is I've gone through the manual for teachers, uh, generally a paragraph at a time, and asked for clarity and then wrote whatever came into my mind. And so this is what I'm sharing today. So let's get started. I'm on 17 in the manual for teachers. How do God's teachers deal with magic thoughts? And that's paragraph 7. The paragraph says this: but what will now be your reaction to all magic thoughts? They can but reawaken sleeping guilt, which you have hidden but have not let go. Each one says clearly to your frightened mind, you have usurped the peace of God, the place of God. Think not he has forgotten. So I'm going to say that again. Our frightened mind says, you have usurped the place of God. Think not he has forgotten. Ooh. Here we have the fear of God most starkly represented. For in that thought has guilt already raised madness to the throne of God himself. And now there is no hope except to kill. Here is salvation now. An angry father pursues his guilty son. Kill or be killed, for here alone is choice. Beyond this, there is none, for what was done cannot be done without. The stain of blood can never be removed, and anyone who bears a stain on him must meet with death. Well, okay, Jesus could not be any clearer. My fear of God is more like terror of God. This explains why it's taken so long to reach a place of willingness to begin the awakening process. It also explains why there was so much resistance, even as I began to accept that I believe something that is not true. Even now, I still resist. I'm in a whole new place, but I still cling to some of my defenses. I have to remind myself not to judge this. I am where I am, and honestly, I'm pretty excited about where I am. It is easy to become confused about this, to think I am the one asleep, to think I am my errors. I am not. Myron is just where I have placed my attention, where I've placed my awareness. There is something happening which is outside her story. I think in the past I mentioned that I started listening to A Course in Miracles as asleep. Since I started doing this, my dreams have changed. Last night in my dream, I felt incredibly peaceful and aware. There was a character, there was a character in my dream who seemed to be someone close to me. I saw that he was like I used to be, reactive to his story. As I stood with him, I felt what he felt, and I understood his fear while not believing in it. It was amazing. He was evidently ready to begin his process too, because he felt something of my peace and wanted it. Later in the dream, there was another person who was going to do something cruel for no apparent reason, and I felt him too. I felt the unacknowledged fear deep within him that was driving his actions. I knew that he couldn't help but do what he was doing, and I didn't feel any resentment toward him at all. When I woke up, I felt some of the elation of experiencing that kind of peaceful awareness. I just lay there thinking, wow, wow, wow. So I see that there is much more happening than is apparent in my everyday life. I'm willing to continue doing whatever it is that my higher self would have me do. I'm doing it with a lot more trust now than I used to. Something that really stands out to me in this paragraph is the first couple of sentences. Jesus is telling us that our magic thoughts are constantly reminding us of our hidden guilt. Rather than looking at the guilt and allowing our minds to be healed finally, we project the fear and guilt out as a story in our life. This gives us an explanation for the guilt that allows us to go on pretending we don't know the source of the guilt. But every time we entertain ego thoughts, we're reminded that there's a monster in the basement and our fear is awakened. We can't do anything about the fear, though, because we're denying that the fear monster is there. And to deal with the source of the fear is out of the question. We cannot admit the source, so we can't deal with it. What a mess we've gotten ourselves into. Thank you, Jesus, my brother, myself, for finding your way out of this and showing us the way out. Thank you for watching my video. And if you found this helpful, then please like it and subscribe. And I will see you again soon.